everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rachel Agasha. On the channel we inspire, we motivate, and we encourage. If you're new to the channel, I hope I give you a reason to subscribe at the end of this video. And if you decided to subscribe even before watching this video, you're the real deal. Thank you for subscribing. Feel free to turn on the notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Yeah, and if you're a returning subscriber, I can't thank you enough. Thank you, you make this happen. Yeah, I definitely can't do this without you. So in our previous video, I had mentioned that it's awareness month. It is World Diabetes Month. So what we're going to be doing is sensitize and teach you, teach the community, teach the world, teach everyone out there. Basically promote awareness everywhere that we can. And good for me, I have, not good for me, luckily enough, I have a YouTube channel where I can do this, and I cannot be honored enough. And thank you for choosing to watch this video. Thank you for choosing to be what is it called, sensitized. Yeah, so we're going to start with what is diabetes. Now diabetes as a whole, as a general, it's basically where you're lacking, like you lack the insulin in your body to manage the blood glucose that goes on in your system. Yeah, from the food you eat, from what should I say, from the body itself, because as we go on, we realize that the body actually produces its own glucose, its own sugar. It's called glucagon. So like I earlier mentioned, diabetes is an autoimmune. So what happens with autoimmune diseases is that the body is trying so hard to fight, to defend itself against all those intruders in the body. You know, like how your body produces antibodies to fight against the germs that cause different diseases or viruses or bacteria and everything. So what happens with an autoimmune disease is that the body now fights itself. Yeah. So what happens with diabetes is that the body produces antibodies that actually fight the beta cells. The beta cells are in the pancreas, and I think they look like intruders to them, so they just try to fight them. So what happens is if your beta cells are disturbed or disorganized or tampered with or destroyed, you do not have the cells in your body to actually produce the what? The insulin for you, to keep you going, to sustain you. You get. So if you are lucky and you're diagnosed, and you are diagnosed right, then they'll catch the type 1 diabetes. Yeah. Now the different types of type 1 diabetes, like I said, we're going to be concentrating on type 1, but it doesn't have to tell you about the others. Apparently there are almost 10 according to research, but I'm just going to mention the ones that I know. The type 1, the type 2, then there is one that I don't seem to understand, like it's on and off. Like today you actually need the insulin and tomorrow you don't need it, you know, something like that. I know someone who's like that. They would only show up like at the clinic for in particular times, like they need it now and then they don't need it tomorrow. You get. And it's different from type 2. Then there's gestation. Gestation is for the pregnant mothers. It normally catches mothers who are pregnant. You find that the mother is pregnant. She has not been diabetic and everything, but she gets gestational diabetes. Then there's which are the many others, but those are the ones that I know of. So type 1, like I earlier mentioned, occurs in children. And like I said, you can be diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at any age. Yeah. But it's very common in children. So when they say type 1 diabetes, it's normally children, young adults, adolescents, you get. But it can actually occur at any age. Like I said, even at 30, 40, you can be diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Now type 2, what happens with type 2 is normally it's actually lifestyle. Like if you grow so big and you are obese, and maybe the insulin that your body is producing is not enough to manage the blood sugar, the blood glucose from what you eat, from what your body produces, you're not working out, you're not, now that is when you can, you literally, your pancreas, your beta cells can produce that insulin, but it's not enough. it's not enough to sustain you. So the doctors will tell you need to change your lifestyle, you need to stop taking sugar, you need to stop taking sodas at a what, you need to exercise more, you need to lose the weight. And in most cases, if you change your lifestyle, you change your diet, you basically change how you do things, chances are very high you can actually be free of type 2 diabetes. Now what happens with type 1 diabetes is it's here for life. It's a chronic, I think it's a chronic illness because it's with you for life, unless you get what is it called, a transplant. What is it? I don't know. Yeah, there's a transplant. You get a new pancreas, and chances are high when you get a pancreas, you can't be sure if your body will accept it. So I think you go through all those processes. Okay, now I've got a new pancreas. Okay, is my body going to like accept it? You know those things. You know how bodies reject body organs. Those things. So what that means is that as a type 1 diabetic, you are going to depend entirely on artificial insulin. Artificial insulin is administered through syringes. So you are bound, or you are supposed to get your insulin shot every day of your life, not 1 or 2. Some people go up to 6, some people have 3, some people have 4, depending on what helps you manage or control your blood sugar. So yeah, that is basically type 1 diabetes. Now, how do you know you're catching type 1 diabetes? Like I said earlier, disclaimer again, do not use any of the information you get from this channel to do personal diagnosis. It is wrong. It will be very wrong of you to do that, because you can't, it's not one thing, it's not one-sided. Yeah, for it to actually be type 1, all those signs have to be available, they have to be present. The fact that you're going to overpee does not mean you actually have type 1 diabetes. However, I'm going to list them down for you so that you know them. So just in case the signs and symptoms are showing up in someone that you know, if you know someone who's going through this, you can advise them and tell them, you know what, you need to see a doctor, because chances are high you could be at risk, or it's already happening. Yeah, one thing that I need to tell you, it's not a death sentence. It can be too much. I promise you, it can be too much to handle, too much to go around, too much to deal with, because yeah, like I said, it is a battle. It lives with you. It's with you every minute of the day. It's with you everywhere that you go. However, it should not stop you from doing the things that you love to do. It should not stop you from being who you want to be. Yeah, because the very first stages can be tricky. They can be tricky, very tricky. Yeah, because there's so much to deal with. There's so much to learn. There's actually so much to learn for you to be able to live a happy and healthy life. However, the signs and symptoms that will show, or that should alarm you, or that should get you thinking, okay, I need to see a doctor. Excess thirst. Like you are thirsty all the time. For you, a 5-liter jerry can would consume in like 2 hours, and you still want more. Like it's never enough. Yeah. Then there is excess weight loss. Like someone who has been this big or pretty or nice, they just start to fade away. Yeah. Then you have a big appetite. You could literally eat everyone's food. And you see what's funny is that you eat it, but then you don't go fat. You're just losing more weight. Yeah. Then you urinate a whole lot. Like you need to use the bathroom all the time. So excess urinating, excess thirst, excess weight loss, everything is literally excess. Also, if you test your pee, like your susu, it's sweet. Normally when your blood sugar is really high and everything, the taste of your urine is sweet, like apple juice. Then there's that other smell. There's a smell that comes in your mouth, and I forgot the word, but the doctors will say fruit kind of smell in your mouth. You can feel it. Okay, But yeah, then a blurred vision, like you literally you won't see clearly, you know? There's a blur. You're there, you're living with it, and you'll always be weak. Like there's a particular weakness that comes with it. Excess headache. Every time your blood sugar is high, there's so much headache, there's so much, like basically a migraine, I should say. So those are the signs that are going to tip you off, or the signs that should tip you off, and you're like, am I okay? Am I okay? And then you're going to, of course, lose interest in the things that you love to do. If it is in a child, like a baby, the baby will cry. You know those babies who can't talk, and you literally can't sit. So the baby is always crying, like constantly. Then if you've been a lover of sweet things, cakes and what, you reach a point that when you actually eat something like that, you get nauseated, even throw up. Yeah, because your body, your blood sugar is like in the sky. It doesn't need anything else. So everything else that comes in that is sweet and will just irritates it. Yeah. So those should be the times. That should be the time when you run to the doctor and like, doctor, am I okay? I feel like this and like this and like this. Am I okay? Is everything okay with me? You know, so that you are sure of what is actually happening in your life, and you're not, you know. See, what happens is in Uganda, there's a lot of myths and a lot of misconceptions. I want to do this at some point, but Bagamba, a child, even our medical health workers, they are health workers. Normally it is like the last thing to diagnose, unless you've gone to like a big hospital and they've explained the signs and symptoms to them and they can relate. What happens is they'll misdiagnose you. I know people who were misdiagnosed for years, and this kid had been taking malaria tabs for like forever because they told her she had malaria. Imagine that situation. Yeah. People have been, because you are like 16, 17, and then they're thinking, oh, it must be type 2 because I mean you're grown, and they're taking pills for type 1 diabetes. Yeah. So if you know the signs and you have an idea of what is actually going on, then you can be able to interject and be like, no, let us check for type 1 diabetes. Let us check. You know, there are machines that are called glucometers. Glucometers are what they use to check your blood sugar. If you do not have any family member who actually lives with a condition, you might not have it in your home. But when you go to the hospital and you have knowledge of the signs and symptoms, then you can easily advise the medical worker. You know what? You know, they don't like kajanja. Like, okay, I read these things from the internet, and I might just be honest with them and tell them, what? The signs that he or she is presenting are signs of type 1 diabetes. Could we check for diabetes and see if there's a possibility that this and this is happening in his or her life? And maybe you can tell them, because you see what happens if you do not diagnose earlier, whatever that blood sugar is ruining things in life. Every time your blood sugar is in the sky, something is getting spoiled, and every time your blood sugar is low, something is being damaged. And now when your blood sugar is low, it damages brain cells, and these are cells that don't regenerate. Yeah, so imagine a situation where you have had this constant low blood sugar, and oh my god, yeah. So you need to see a doctor and be sure you're not losing organs, you're not failing yourself, you're not ruining your life in there. Yeah. So it's going to be type 1 diabetes, occurs in children, but can be diagnosed at any age. Yeah, anyone can catch it. So what happens is the beta cells are destroyed, and they can no longer produce enough insulin or insulin at all for the body to sustain and manage blood glucose in the body. Then it can't be treated, it has no cure, it can only be managed by insulin shots. I think I'll do a video where I talk about type of insulin. Then type 2 is diagnosed from the age of 40. Yeah, it's normally because of it occurs because your body is literally resistant to the insulin. Like I said earlier, either you're too big or things are just wrong. Yeah, your insulin, your body is resistant to that insulin. It can be treated, managed, by change of lifestyle. There are also some pills that people have to take to get over it, to be over with it, or to cure from it, I should say. Then there is it also can be inherited. Type 2 can be inherited. So you find a situation where if a mother has type 2 diabetes, chances are high a daughter or a son eventually, because it's genetic. Yeah, but it can be prevented, cured by change of lifestyle, exercising, change of diet, eating healthy. Yeah, then there is a gestational diabetes that occurs in pregnant women. What happens with gestational pregnancy, gestational diabetes, is that if you get gestational diabetes and when you give birth, your lifestyle, your diet, and everything is there, chances are high you'll catch type 2. Yeah, so it is important that after giving birth, even when the signs have been there, your lifestyle is beautiful, your diet is good, you're working out to get rid of it. Then the one that I say that is in between is called ladder. It's actually type 1.5. It progresses from type 1. So sometimes you need the insulin, sometimes you don't need it. Yeah, it's funny, right? Yeah, then there's another one called MODY. Yeah, it's from genetics and mutations, something like that. Just something that I'm not so sure of, but yeah, it's also another type of diabetes. So yeah, that should be your take home, and thank you for watching till the very end. Please let me know if you can hear me. My microphone kind of jammed on me. It didn't jam. I'm using another phone, and when I put in the microphone, I could not hear the sound. Like when I play the video, I could not hear the sound. So I hope you can hear me. I hope you heard me till the end of the video. Thank you for sticking around till the very end. I'll see you in our next video. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. I already said like the video, so yeah. And if you've not subscribed, I hope I've given you a reason to subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. That is how we grow. Yeah, I'll see you in our next video. Stay safe and take care. I love you. Bye.